Hey guys, Rogue Orange here. Welcome back to the channel, and today we are looking at another development item. This is the IS Nitro emulator produced by Intelligent Systems. And you might be asking what the heck is an IS Nitro emulator, and that is a development kit for the Nintendo DS. Now I know what you're thinking, what is this big blue box here, isn't everything already inside the DS? Well, actually, no, it isn't. See, in this, in a development setting, this here is just a controller. This has none of the processing, none of the computer chips, nothing in this but the bare basic functions to run. See, all of the processing and computing power is inside this blue metal box. Alright, without further ado, let's take a little peek around the IS Nitro emulator. Starting up front, you have the big IS Nitro emulator emblazoned on the front. And down here you have 3 indicator lights, System 1, 2, and Power. Of course, you have the Intelligent Systems stamp down there. Pretty cool. Moving on over here, you have the tag for it. It has the voltage, the amps, all the basic information you would need to know. Flipping it and looking at the bottom, you're going to see it has again, another information tag with the serial number and the version, which is Japanese, and the type of item, as well as the options tag, which if you've seen any of my TikToks or my Instagram reels or anything like that, you would know that this option tag is also on my Game Boy emulator. And you see that this one has video and wireless enabled. And apparently, according to the internet and retro collectors like myself, this version of the kit is considered a very rare type because not all of them have these two features at the same time. Now you might be asking what both of these options mean. We'll get to that in a second. Flipping it up to the top, you see we have this fin here. I really don't know what that does, to be honest. But here you have a Game Boy cartridge slot, and here you have a Nintendo DS cartridge slot. And on the back, you're going to see we just have a bunch of different switches and ports that do all sorts of different things. Starting off down here, we have 2004 Intelligent Systems made in Japan. Very cool. As I mentioned earlier, we were going to get to this wireless function. The Ethernet port here actually would allow this kit to wirelessly connect and communicate with the development programs on a computer. Then moving to the left, we have a USB port here that would obviously connect to the computer. I thought I had one before I started filming, and I don't think I actually do, so I can't actually connect this to the computer. And here we have the dip switches, and first of all, shout out to Mo Retro, who was able to get into contact with someone who actually has the manual for this specific kit, and what it says is that the first 3 dip switches do not do anything, and neither do 6, 7, and 8. The only ones that do anything are 4 and 5. See, if the switches are over to the left, they are turned off, but if they're over to the right, they are turned on. Now number 4 here is for the initialization of the system. Like if you're trying to restore it back to factory, then you would switch on the 4 here on the dip switch. But for number 5 is again where the wireless communication comes in, because this feature is controlled by dip switch 5. If you have it set to the right, which is on, then you'll be able to do that wireless functionality, but if it's off on the left, then it's not enabled. And I have not messed with these dip switches since the day I've gotten this thing, but number 5 over to the right means that the wireless communication on this device, if I were to ever use it, would be enabled when I go to use it. And then moving up, we have 2 AV ports, which is what the video option on the bottom of the device means, is that I'm able to connect at least one AV to a display, and I'm actually able to see the screens of the DS to be output. And then here we have our DC in port, and then we have our fun power switch. I love this switch here. It's so satisfying to click. Speaking of the computer program, it's very difficult to install this software onto a modern machine, and I don't have any older devices that I can actually install all of the software onto and have it, be compatible and everything. So I can't really show you any gameplay or anything like that using this. And I did buy a disc that actually has all of the programs and stuff on it, but it's not going to make it in time for this video. But I will show you this thing plugged in and working. What's great about Nintendo is their resourcefulness, because a lot of their newer kits use older means of power and input, which means that this IS Nitro emulator in 2004 used GameCube power and AV. Alright, and there we go, we are plugged in, and before we plug in the AV inputs, I'm going to flip the switch here just to show you that this does work. And there we go, this thing does work, and it's going to be a little bit different than what your standard DS would be. You see, there is no DS port. First of all, it is replaced by this cable that connects the DS to this system to act as a controller. And there's also no Game Boy compatibility either, so you can't just plug in and play these games on this specific model DS. And the DS, otherwise the DS functions as it normally would. You can change the time and things like that. Unfortunately, it doesn't save the time or date, but it does save the language, which I think is kind of strange. I'm not complaining though, because I would prefer to be able to actually read what's going on here. And funnily enough, this is actually not the original DS controller that came with this kit when I originally bought it. The one it actually came with was this one, and as you see, it's yellow, it's brittle, it's not in great condition. The screens inside are actually busted. They have like cracks in them, and honestly, replacing the screens and everything just wasn't worth it. I figured, why not just shell swap? So that's what I did. I took the internals I took the internals out of this one and I swapped them with this one, because I found this one on Yahoo Auctions Japan with this severed cable here. So I figured, why not, make this thing look as good as it possibly can. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And like I said, I've tried to change the time and everything on this, and it restarts the system like it normally would, and it works fine. Like the system will shut down, and it doesn't save the time or anything like that. So that's pretty cool. But the thing I wanted to show was actually the AV input. So we're gonna do that real quick. So AV1 out is the top screen here. And if we plug it in, there you go. We see the top screen in all of its amazing glory. So now if we go on over here, I'm going to unplug it and then plug in AV out 2, which should be the bottom screen. And there you go. Look at that. We are up and running on the second screen. Everything looks good. Nothing wrong with this, really. I mean, the colors are a little bit low resolution, but for something that doesn't need any hardware modding for you to see the output on a screen, I think is pretty cool as is. And my suspicions are correct. This is a cartridge slot, so we're gonna put our Game Boy prototype in there. And this is the DS cartridge slot, and there we go, clicks right in. But as I said earlier, the Computer programs I need to do this do not seem to want to install properly on my machine, and getting the necessary add-ons for the programs to work properly are basically impossible to find nowadays, even though the development kit programs are pretty easy to find, which kind of sucks because I really want to show you like actual gameplay on these things. But yeah, that's it. That is the Intelligent Systems Nitro emulator, a brief look at it anyways. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like. If you want to see more of these types of videos, then please subscribe. My name's been Rogue Orange, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.